Okay, student, we will start with our session. Before going to this session, first I just want to show you the syllabus of this subject, that is corporate governance. Okay, we will go through this syllabus and we will understand what actually we are going to learn in this syllabus. Okay, so very good afternoon to all. I hope I am audible. If I am not audible, please let me know. Okay, so I will share the screen. Anybody give me the intimation whether it is visible or not. Yes. Is it visible, student? Okay. Okay. So the name of the subject is corporate governance. The code is 310. It is a university level generic elective university level subject. Okay, which having 2 credit. So student, here there are 5 units in this subject. First unit is conceptual framework of corporate governance. In this we are going to learn what exactly corporate governance is, the introduction of corporate governance. Next is board effectiveness and various board committees. Third is corporate governance and other stakeholder. Fourth is legislative framework of corporate governance in India. And the last is recent cases on the corporate governance in India. Okay, so these are the 5 units which we are going to learn in this subject. It is in last unit, it is like a case studies. We are going to learn different case studies of different corporate sector. They have mentioned the name of the different corporate, that is case study of Satyam, case study of just wait, case study of Tata Group, Cyrus Mistry disputes, PNB. So in last session, in last unit, we are going to learn the case study of this uh, case study of these companies. Okay, so student first, and it's the total marks of this subject is 50 marks. Okay, and it is university level. You have to give this paper on university. So it's this subject is not that much hard. It is easy. The subject is totally uh, about the corporate governance, board of the member of that corporate, and some of the legal things is also mentioned in this subject, and some case studies is also there. Okay. So in exam it might be asked the case study. So we will go through the case study in the last unit. Okay, student. So this is all about the today's today's subject, that is corporate governance. Today I am just giving the introduction about this subject. In the next session we will go through deeply. Student, please let me know my presentation is visible or not. Only one student can reply. Okay, thank you. Okay, so today we are going to learn about unit number 1, that is conceptual framework of corporate governance. Let's moving to the next slide. Here we are going to learn regarding introduction of corporate governance. Can anybody tell me what exactly corporate governance have you learned before this? What is the meaning of corporate governance? Can anybody? Yes. आरती, अक्षदा, अक्षय, भूमिका, कोणी पण चांगलं तरी चालेल. मीन्स हॅव यू हिअर्ड दिस नेम बिफोर? Okay, it is very this the corporate governance is just a system by which a company are directed and controlled. It is a higher level of management. Okay, this is one kind of the system in which controlling, directing these things are get into it. So the responsibility of board includes setting the company strategic aim, providing the leadership to put them into effect. So supervising the management of business and reporting to the shareholder on their stewardship. Okay, so the corporate governance is a system in which that committee, the corporate governance system, in which what get happen, that decision making get happen takes place, direction, controlling, these things are get takes place in this corporate governance system. Okay, they also creates vision mission of that companies. They also creates some of the strategies of that companies. Okay, it is a it is a system by which company are directed and controlled. Okay, so here it also supervising the management of the business and reporting to the shareholder on their stewardship. So I have mentioned here the four P's of corporate governance, that is people, purpose, process, and performance. So these are the four P's of the corporate governance that guides the philosophy behind the governance existing and how it's operate. So this is about the corporate governance. Student, I have mentioned here one YouTube link in which why this corporate governance is important in any sector. Okay, so I will show this video. Just go through it, and can anybody tell me what exactly this video is? So it is very simple video. It shows the how this corporate governance is important and what is the role of that. Student, is it visible and audible? Hello, दिसते का तुम्हाला सर्वांना हा व्हिडिओ? Okay, not audible. uh, okay, is there any option for this? I will again. I think there is one setting for system audio, so that's why it's not audible. So in this video what they have shown that why this corporate governance is important, and how it get executed in the corporate, and it is one of the central and dynamic aspect of the business. So this is shown in this videos, but in next slide is also there one small video, but it is not audible, so I'm not going to share that. In next lecture I will try to uh, solve this problem. Okay. So here the corporate governance is a system by which companies are directed and controlled, as I have told you in the first slide. So board of the director are responsible for the governance of their companies. So here the shareholder role is the very important role in this what we say in this subject. So board of the director are responsible for the governance of their companies. The shareholder role in governance is to appoint the director and the auditor that to satisfy themselves that appropriate governance structure in this place. So here, as you know, the shareholders invest in a particular companies, in a different companies, for what purpose? For getting a benefit from that companies. Okay. So this is one of the important role that shareholder should be happy uh, with that companies for gaining the highest profit of that companies. So corporate governance therefore about what the board of the company does and how it sets the values of the company. So it as I've told you that this corporate governance sets the vision and mission of that company. Decision making is also takes place in this corporate governance, and also directing, controlling of that companies. So these things are done by the corporate governance. So due to this it is very easy to that company to achieve their objectives what they have set. Okay. So due to that the company will get a profit, and that profit are get divided to the shareholders as per their norms. Okay. So this corporate governance is therefore about what the board of the company does and how it sets the value of the company, and it is distinguished from day to day operational management of the company by full time executives. So here in this slide, student, we are going to learn about the corporate governance principle. So for this, for executing the company, some of the rules and regulations should be there in that companies, and some of the principles should be there. Okay. So here I have mentioned the corporate governance principle. These are the four important principle which set by the corporate governance. So the first one is accountability, next is fairness, third is transparency, and the fourth is responsibility. So these are the four principle of the corporate governance. I have mentioned short what does mean by accountability, what is fairness, and what is transparency and responsibility. Okay. So first principle is accountability. So what exactly is it? The code provides for accountability of the company board of director to the all shareholders in according with applicable law, and provide guidance to the board of director to make decision making. Okay. So here there are some of the code of conduct in which the accountability of the company's board of director and all shareholders are having some laws and provide the guidance to the board of director for taking a right decision or making a decision and monitoring activity of the executives bodies. So this is about the accountability. Next is fairness. Fairness should be there in between board of director or in between this company and shareholders. Okay. Equal distribution of profit should be there. So that will comes in the fairness. So the company undertakes to protect shareholders' rights and ensure equal treatment of the shareholder. Okay. So there should be no bias should be takes place in this. So there should be equal distribution of profit should be there. The board of the directors shall give all shareholders that opportunity to obtain effective redress for the violation of their rights. Okay. So this is all about the fairness. Next is transparency. Yes, the transparency is one of the important factor or principle in which there should be a transparency in shareholders as well as that companies. Okay. Whatever the loss are get whatever the loss and profit are get takes place in that company, that should be transparent. Okay. So if a company get a profit, so equal distribution should be there in the company as well as the shareholder. So this thing is comes in the transparency. The company shall provide timely, accurate disclosure of the information about all material facts relating to its activity, including financial institutions, social, environment indication, performance ownership structure, and governance of the company, as a free access to such information for all stakeholders. So this is third principle of corporate governance. Next is responsibility. So responsibility is also one of the important factors or principles of corporate governance. Shareholder is also having some such types of responsibility, as well as companies also having such types of responsibility. So the company recognizes the rights of all interested parties permitted by the applicable law and seeks to cooperate with such person or companies for their own development and financial stabilities. Okay, so these things are the principle of corporate governance. It might be asked in your exam, what are the different principle of the corporate governance. If MCQs is there, so MCQs types they may ask. So moving to the next slide, we are going to learn different pillars of the good corporate governance. So student, here there are six pillars of the good corporate governance. This is also important term of that corporate governance. Okay, so we are going in little detail about this six pillar of the corporate governance, what exactly it is. The first is rule of law. As I have already told you, there should be some of the rules and regulations. Okay, so here the first pillar of this corporate governance is rules of law. Next is moral integrity should be there, and third is transparency, as we have learned in the principle, corporate principle. Next is participation. Next is responsibility and accountability, and the last is effectiveness and the efficiency. So these are the six pillar of the corporate governance. We are going in detail. That rules of law, this is the first pillar of good corporate governance, rules of law, that is legislating and issuing regulation that are fair and acceptable to the employees and societies. So student, here the law should be just like that, employee as well as society should accept this law. Okay, so that kind of law should be set in that company, legally authorizing the power. Next is improving the process of drafting, issuing, and implementing the law with the consider on quality, fairness, and quickness. So these things are related to the rules of law. Okay, next is moral integrity. Integrity is also one of the important factor in any company. So embracing the morality and cultural value should be there, encouraging the employee to conduct their duties and to be role model for the society. So this due to this moral integrity, there the motivation are get takes place in the employees. There should be a conduct of their duties through employee and be a role model of the society. The next is encouraging the employee to be honest, sincere, disciplined, and diligent. So these things are comes in the moral integrity, in which the employee should be a honest, should be a struggle, should give a best performance, and should be a sincere. Discipline should be there in among the employees, and diligent means it should be a more dedicated in their work. So these things are comes under the moral integrity. Next is transparency. As I have already told you about this transparency in that corporate governance principle, but here also in six pillar this transparency are get included. So building the trust within the organization or nation by the encouraging transparent working process in every division, disclosing information to employee, general public stakeholder to access the information. So here the providing different opportunity to the employees, general public or stakeholder to check the correctness. So transparency should be there through employees, employee, okay, stakeholder, companies. So it is also important. Next principle is participation. So participation in which providing the opportunity for the employees, general public or stakeholder to understand the situation, and also providing the opportunity to employee, general public or stakeholder to participate in solving the organization problem by giving opinion or voting. So student, as I already told you, that board of director have to take some important decision regarding their companies. So for taking any decision, the board of director, what they do, they give the chance or they give the opportunities to the employees for uh, for uh, for the expressing their views regarding any situation happen in the organization problems. Okay, so here parties in this in participation pillar of good corporate governance, what they do, they give the opportunity to the employee for and general public or stakeholder to participate in solving the organization problem by giving opinion or voting. So these things are come in this participation. Okay. The next is responsibility and accountability. So student, here the responsibility and accountability in which what I have mentioned, that realizing that one has duties and responsibility for the society and environment. So this is also one of the important in which employee has a duty and responsibility for their societies and environment. So here the best example of this, that the social soul program we have conducted in our institute. So this social soul, it is our responsibility for the society and environment. Okay, so this consider in the social soul, this is the example of best example for this responsibility and equality. Next is concerning oneself with public problem. Next is enthusiastically solve the problems, respecting the different opinions, being responsible to one conduct. So student, these things are comes in the responsibility and accountability. The next last pillar of this good corporate governance is effectiveness and efficiency should be there. Okay, so this is one of the main aspect in which in every corporate sector the effectiveness should be there and efficiency. So managing the limited resources for the optimal benefit for the public and encouraging the employee the public to be economically using the resources efficiently, producing high quality goods and providing good services, conserving the natural resources and adding the values. So here, if we think about the one of the product in which uh, that product should be a high quality, the customer give the preference to the high qualities and also good services. Okay, and conserving the natural resources, there should not be a chemical ingredient in that resources. So this effectiveness and efficiency are comes under these things are comes under the effectiveness and efficiency. Okay, so student, these are the six pillar of the corporate governance, that is rules of law, moral integrity, transparency, participation, responsibility, accountability, effectiveness, and efficiency. This is a important factor of this good corporate governance. Moving to the next slide. Here, student, we are going to learn regarding the needs and scope and evolution of corporate governance. So, what are the needs of this corporate governance? Here, we are going to learn. So, the corporate governance provide preparing a code of conduct for an organization, which will help the company in showcasing the commitment of the company to work ethically and ethical stance and to maintain a good image in the market. So this is one of the important needs of every sector, that there should be a ethical system in that company. There should be a what we said, the code of conduct should be a very well mannered. Okay, so here what I have mentioned, that it is a preparing a code of conduct for the organization which will help. So these things are get help um, for making a good image in the market of that particular companies. Okay, so the corporate governance provide for preparing a good conduct for an organization, which will help the company in showcasing the commitment of the company to work ethically on ethical stance and maintain a good image in the market, both domestic as well as global market. This corporate social responsibility committee. Okay, so this is one of the need of this corporate governance. Next is it also referred to how influences the business inside outside. It's the scope is border should the scope should be a border and, and accomplish various development factors. It is solely about maintaining equilibrium between the individual or corporation and society goals and economic and social development. Okay, so these are the some of the needs and scope of the corporate governance, in which it solely maintain equal equilibrium between the society as well as corporation and also economically and socially development goals. So these are the needs and scopes of the evolution of the corporate governance. So student, next slide here, this is a different point, that is meaning of agency. So here we are going to learn what exactly it is. Just wait for a minute. So this is the this is last but one points we are going to learn what exactly agency theory is. Okay, so agency theory examine the relationship between the agent and principal in the business. In an agency relationship, there are two parties exist. First is agent and principal. Uh, uh, the agent and principal, these two things are get included in this agency theory. Okay, so here what they have do, the former act and takes decision on the behalf of the latter. So the theory revolves around the relationship between the two, that is agent and principal, in which what they solve the issues which get happen in the companies, or which get happen in the management level and as well as in the stakeholders. So this agency theory states that it in corporate, the management should be act in best interest of the company shareholder who are having ownership in the business. Okay, so it tends to resolve the disputes between the shareholder and the management. So student, as you know, if there is a decline in in particular company, so if loss get takes place in that company, so the shareholder didn't get their what we said, their shares or their profit from that company. So these things are get converted into the disputes between the shareholder and management. So these things are solved by agency theory, that whatever the disputes are get takes place in the shareholder and management, they try to solve that disputes, resolve that disputes and make a good relation between these between these two parties, that is agency and between this, that is management and shareholder. The term agency refers to the relationship between the principal and their agent. It manages the people and considering agent shareholder principles. So these things in this agency theory, the theory resolve around the relationship between the two and issues that may surface due to the different perspective and business goals. In finance, the most talked about the agency relationship exists between the shareholder and executives of the corporation. Okay, so this is about the agency theory. This theory, in which the two parties are get includes, that is management and shareholders, it try to resolve the whatever the disputes are get takes place in the shareholder as well as management. So another common example of this agency theory is between employee and employer of the organization. So student, as you know that their dispute are might get takes place. Mm, just wait. Dispute might get takes place between the employer and employee. So the employee are hired to work in accordance with the objectives of the organization. So every organization are hired the employees for what purposes, for achieving the objectives of that organization, for increasing the profit. So these are the main aim or motive of that companies. Okay, so however the growing number of corporate scams shows that there is a relationship is not always taken in a way it meant to be. So some of the company have some scandals or scam are get take place due to that some of the employees are not that much honest about that work. So these things are takes place in any company. So the employee work against the ethics of the organization cause huge financial and reputation damage. So some of the employees are danger to that companies due to them. So huge financial loss will takes place and reputation of company are damaged in the market. Okay, so sometime loss caused by such corrupt employees is beyond repair, and the organization has to wind up its business altogether. So here so this is example of the agency theory. Next point is corporate governance code and agency theory. So agency theory is a part of topic of corporate governance. It involves the problem of director controlling a company while the shareholder owns the company. As I have already told you, this agency theory in which two parties are get includes, that is shareholders and management, in which whatever the problems are get takes place in the management and shareholder, this agency theory are get resolved that problems. So agency theory identifies point of conflicts among corporate interest group. Bank wishes to reduce risk while shareholder want to reasonable maximum profit. So agency theory in corporate governance is an extension of the agency theory as discussed above, it related to the specific types of agency relationship that exist between the shareholder, director, management of the companies. In this last slide, the shareholder, true owner of the corporation, as you know that the this shareholder is also a owner of that company, that they invest in that company. So that will also consider the owner of that company as principal elects the executive to act and take decision on their behalf. The aim is to represent the view of that owner and conduct operation in their interest. So here, the last point of that of this corporate governance code and agency theory is that despite this clear rationale of electing the board of the director, there is a lot of instance when complicated issue come up and executes knowing or unknowing take decision that do not reflect shareholder best interest. So so this agency's theory should take a decision in which there should be a what equal there should that kind of decision they have to take in which it does not reflects to the shareholders interest. Okay, so like this they have to take the decision from the disputes that happen in the management and shareholder in the dynamic business environment. Agency theory of corporate governance has gathered a lot of attention and seen evaluate from the different point of views. So this is all about the agency theory of this of the corporate governance. So student, this is the last slide. So today we have learned only 3 points. That is introduction of the corporate governance. Next is different principle of that corporate governance, and different six pillars of corporate governance. Next is needs and scope of corporate governance. And the last point we have learned about the what exactly agency theory is. Okay. So this is about the today's session, students. I will just stop sharing.